Hola, amigos, and welcome back to Edible Paper, a paper review podcast. We had a lot to talk about today, but the first thing I want to talk about is I just want to say the lyric from Taylor Swift's song, You're Losing Me, and I wouldn't marry me either. I was listening to that almost 2 minutes ago. Oh my gosh, it is so heartbreaking. Like, like at the beginning of it, she sighs, and it's like you can just tell she's like sighing because it's like not a song she ever wanted to sing or write, and it's such a good song. Anyways, let's get into the stuff I actually wanted to talk about. The longer I sat here waiting to record, the more ideas I had for this podcast. One of which is going to come up in a few weeks. I want to do a Lady Gaga art pop retrospective. I was talking to my friend about how just good art pop is. Like, I don't think he's the biggest Lady Gaga fan, but it's like I just can't explain to them how important art pop is to like society as a whole. Um, but we can get into that during the podcast that I'm going to do in a few weeks. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to make these too long, but they're always super short. Like I don't know why. Like I can only talk for like 20 minutes, and that's my cutoff point. Anyways, on to our uh, other topics, I suppose. The first topic I want to talk about is Kimothy Petras. Kimberly and um, is she's a pop star. She's a trans pop star, which is super fucking cool. Like, trans people are the best. If you're transphobic, you can get off of my wavelengths. I don't know, but trans people are the coolest, and that's on period. Um, so it's sad when they do things like this. And by this I mean, ever since she started, um, releasing music, she's worked with Dr. Luke, and it, it's honestly it baffles me to this day. Like I think for some of her last few songs, like she didn't work with Dr. Luke, so it's kind of like, okay, maybe she's trying to distance herself from it finally, and maybe even then, maybe that might have been, I guess that could have been part of problematique not coming out, as maybe she was separating herself from him. For me, I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and especially when it's like with singers and celebrities, when it comes down to it, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Um, and sometimes what they do is not great, but that's people in general. That's not just celebrities, it's everybody. And realistically, probably me listening to her on streaming is not really going to give him like that much money. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I guess it's more of like kind of almost like a moral thing for me. Like I just, I believe Kesha, um, and I love Kesha. And when I think about like how much Kesha's music has helped me and like saved me throughout the years, I mean, and that's crazy to think. I feel like if you told that to most people, they'd be like, the girl who sings TikTok. And it's like, yeah, but Kesha has been there through thick and thin. My first YouTube video I ever uploaded was about Kesha. Um, when I've wanted to dance, she's been there to help me dance and sing and laugh. And when I needed to cry, Kesha's been there for me when I've needed to cry. I remember a few years ago, my grandmother had a stroke, and then we had to move out of our house. So I was basically like, she had her stroke and went to the hospital, and I just cried and prayed that she could come home. And once she finally did get home, it's sort of like a cosmic joke. I always refer to it as soon as she was coming home, we weren't me and my brother and my father weren't allowed to live with her. I'm not going to go into big personal details, but that's about the gist. Is like we weren't able to live with her when she came home, and that was just like the craziest thing to me is thinking how it's the thing that I prayed for, and I was glad she was home. And that's really, when it comes down to it, I just want her to be happy and her to be I want to make her life as easy as possible. And, it was just, it was a lot to happen. I know I'm rambling all over the place about it, but I think of that happening, and after I met my husband, I was at his house, and it was a few months after, and we weren't living with her, and it was just, it was a lot. Um, I was over at his house, and I'm pretty sure our friend Marissa, hi Marissa, was with us. Um, and I was just sitting on his bed drawing a picture for Praying by Kesha and listening to it and just sobbing, and like that song, that whole album, I feel like was there at the perfect time that I needed it. Such a huge transition in my life, such a huge, like, just anything. I In 2017 as all this happened, I feel like I lost so much. I feel like I lost everything. Um, it was a very hard year for me, but then on the flip side, I gained so much. I met my husband and I fell in love, and I have this life now, and it's like I think, as humans we get so caught up on like time frames, and um like we say like, oh, it's been this many years, but it's like years are a construction, like a construction of sociality. Sociality? I think I tried to say sociology and sociality at the same time, which neither I don't. Sociology is a word. Girl, I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. I just love Kesha, which brings me back to um, Kim Petras. I I just can't imagine knowing all these things about someone and still being like, yeah, I'll work with them. And not only that, but like, saying on the record that you support him and you don't think he did anything wrong and you think he's a great person because he's been nice to you. Like, how irresponsible that is. It kind of harks back to the Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher vouching for Danny Masterson type of thing. It's like somebody can be a great, could be a great friend and a great producer. And I think Dr. Luke is super talented. I love Dr. Luke's work, but he is such a garbage human. It's just that's on period, allegedly. Allegedly, lawyers don't come for me, but like I know and that allegedly it happened. Allegedly. And it's just the effect that Kesha had on me and still has on me compared to Kim Petras is like, how could I forsake Kesha for that? Like, Kim Petras' music is fun. It's like enjoyable. I listened to it a lot when me and my husband met, and that was before I was aware of the Dr. Luke stuff. And I'll listen to her sometimes still, and I guess this rant is for nothing because if I still listen to her sometimes, I'm really not all in. But I, it's a difficult position because, like I said, I like her music. I like his music. I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference if I listen to them or not. But I just don't really want to, so I try not to. Same thing with like Squirt Gun Kelly. Um, it's life, but I just think that, like I said, it's so irresponsible for Kim Petras to work with him and then support him so verbally and like all these, she just keeps working with him. And hopefully, like I said, there is something behind the scenes that maybe she signed the contract and she can't get out and she was just saying what she needed to say. It could be that kind of thing. I mean, look at Poppy. Um, there was a lot of problematic stuff that happened with Poppy early on in her career, and then when it came down to it, it was like that wasn't the stuff she wanted to do. Stuff Titanic Sinclair wanted her to do, and I'm I'm glad that that was the case because I love Poppy too. This is such a ramble, but anyways, her new album Problematic it came out, um, and I listened to the leaks of it back when most of it leaked last year. It's some bops, and I think I'll just listen to that so I don't have to give them my money. And I feel like that's a good that's a nice way to do it. Um, I don't want to give them money. I'm sorry. They don't need my money. Uh, so yeah, I mean it's difficult because I want to like Kim Petras. I'm so glad that she's making way for like trans people in music and media and stuff, but she's just to me for this it's just she fucked up. So I'll take her over Caitlyn Jenner though. I mean, come on, that should go unsaid. So let's move on. Also, somebody who worked with Dr. Luke, and I actually don't know if she still does, so I better look at that after I've just talked all this shit. But her new album, Scarlet, just came out on Friday, and I was listening to a little bit of it before I started recording this podcast. I'm going to do a series on YouTube Shorts and TikTok maybe where I draw a picture for every song on the album because I think that would be fun. I'm interested in her new work more than I ever have with any of her older stuff, and it gets a good amount of views. Like, and that's a win in my book. Which it's not all about the views, but I like to get my art out there, and I like to, it's an ego thing. You love to get views and likes, and I know there's that, and I just try to do it for fun. But I also, if I could make art how I live, like how I support myself, I think it is what it is. Oh Lord, y'all, there's a lot to talk about. I cannot believe it. Uh, so I kind of want to move on from Doja Cat just for a moment because the other topic I wrote down was about ad reads, and I feel like that can kind of go along with the whole selling out thing. I am not necessarily mad at YouTubers and podcasters and all people who do anything with media being like sponsored by someone or like trying to shill you something. Um, it just I just don't like it. Like I don't want to be sold something. Like I don't come onto YouTube to shop. If I want to shop, I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna go to the Walmart and shop. I don't want to be shopped. I don't want to have that when I'm just watching YouTube and having fun and listening to a podcast and having fun. And a lot of these sponsors and ad reads are so awful. Like BetterHelp, people that are still doing BetterHelp. Trixie and Katya, they do BetterHelp. I don't know. Like they did a whole podcast episode about. I'm pretty sure they did. Did they do one for BetterHelp? I know they did one for something else. What did they do? Oh, Etsy. And it's kind of like, okay, we get it. They're giving you money, but please stop trying to sell me stuff. I don't need it. I don't really know what else I can say about that. Did I talk about this last week? I feel like I talked about ad reads last week. That memory just came back to my mind. So sorry if you listened to last week's episode and now you're listening to this and it's the same. But uh, I don't know, my mind. I don't know what to tell you other than that. So let's go back to Doja Cat and her new album Scarlet. Um, I don't get the album cover. I know that there's probably a meaning, and sometimes you're just not supposed to know. The artist just keeps the meaning to themselves, and that's great. I love that. Like I love having people look at something and they don't know what it is. They don't understand. That gives me some type of relief because it's like they can just enjoy the art for what the art is and not for what I've gone through to make it. They don't have to have all that baggage that I have. And plus, if I drew a picture about somebody and they look at it and they don't know it's about them, it's like, oh, thank God. But, so I don't know. The album cover doesn't really make any sense to me. It's cool. I like it. It's very neat. I'm trying to think of how to draw my version of it. I don't know, but it's like, if you don't know, it's like two spiders, but their bodies, their abdomens are made up of a pearl, and it's interesting. They're like fighting or something. I don't know, maybe it's like the two sides of Doja Cat, the pink pop side and the red rap side. That's interesting. Maybe it's them like fighting for dominance over Miss Doja, Miss Cat. Um, I wonder what Doja Cat's real name is. I really have never looked it up. It can't be Doja Cat, right? I mean, she looks like a Tiffany. Is her name Tiffany? I'll have to look it up after this podcast. But Tiffany, I don't know. So yeah, Miss Tiffany, her album so far that I've listened to is pretty good. I like her new song Agora Hills. Um, I like I don't know, it's like she sing raps in like this weird voice, and it's just, I don't know, it's really interesting, and I really like it. And maybe she's done this before, and I'm just not familiar with her work, because this is really the only Doja Cat stuff I've really, really listened to. I think also because I thought, she worked with Dr. Luke. Um, but Paint the Town Red, great song. Love that song. It's always stuck in my head, and it's stuck in my husband's head, and it's hilarious. Just watching us dance around the house singing it. But it's a good album so far. I like it. I didn't finish the whole thing because I keep getting distracted because I'm on mm, uh, perfectly legal Delta 9 gummy. But I'm excited to finish the album. I'm excited to draw some pictures for it, and I'm working in like a smaller uh, sketchbook right now, so it's easier to get like a full picture done because it's so much smaller. So definitely follow my Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. If you are watching this on YouTube, follow me on Spotify and all the other social medias that I've put in here. So in a way, I think that's kind of an ad read, isn't it? But it's at least for me. It's not like I'm trying to sell you like Vienna sausages or something, which no, I couldn't, because well, okay, because my husband's vegan, and I feel like I even feel bad when I like eat a steak. I'm like, I should love him enough to not do this kind of stuff. Um, I don't know if that sounds unhealthy. It probably is unhealthy. I don't know. But I love him so much, and I just want him to be happy. And what does this have to do with Doja Cat? I'm sorry, y'all. I think this is just something that happens. This is the route I've decided to go on for my podcast, and it just adds some zaniness, some fun. You never know what's going on. I'm really trying to get it together though, because last week's episode was incomprehensible. Incomprehensible. So Doja Cat, I love my husband. What else can I say? That's my life at the moment. Um, yeah. I didn't go over my top songs for like just literally right this moment, because like I feel like before I take a gummy and after I take a gummy, my entire like musical idea changes. So I do really love these songs right now. There's this girl on TikTok. Her name is Thea Grace. Um, she posted a little snippet of like a song she was writing about Mary Magdalene. Um, but the way she pronounces Magdalene is Maudlin. It's like an easier pronunciation for singing, and also it doubles as like a double entendre for um. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who am I saying I'm sorry to? You, my dear listener, because I keep losing track of everything. Oh yeah, Mary Maudlin. It has a double entendre. Maudlin being like sad, and kind of it to me. I really like it because it's like almost a reclamation of like the Bible and those biblical events. Because to me, like I loved being a Christian. I loved not reading the Bible. I don't really love reading the Bible. Let's face it. I'm not a reader. It's not the Lord's fault. I just don't like reading. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but God and being a Christian, that was like a huge part of my life. And, I miss it in a way. I miss like maybe the naivety, um, you know, the having like a higher power to believe in. I don't really know. Because now my higher power is my life, where I am, my husband, my kids. So I definitely just enjoy that aspect of like reclaiming, Christianity, the Bible, part of what was so special to you in the past, and you're making it into something that makes sense for you. And I really appreciate this song for that. Um, it just really hit my my spirit when I heard it the first time, and I listened to it over and over and over again on TikTok. I eventually just downloaded the videos and like clipped them together so I can just listen to the song like on my phone, and hopefully when she releases it on streaming, I can listen to it a lot. It's just the grasp that it had on my emotion when I heard that song. It just resonated so much with me. So much so to where I actually want to do a series where I draw a picture based on every book of the Bible, every chapter in the Bible, rather. So far, I've only done Genesis 1:1, but I feel like it could double as like I can get myself to read the entire Bible because that's something I have wanted to do for a long time, and I can also make art about it. So it's just great stuff. I I I don't know what this has to do. Oh, I was thinking we were on the writer's strike. That's the next topic we're covering. Anyways, Mary Maudlin, great song, great, beautiful, love it. Um, it's Christian, it's cunty, it's just a good time. Anyways, the next song is 18 Plus by Scene Queen. I've been listening to it like a good amount the past few days. I don't know if it just came out or what, but but it's so catchy and it's so like scathing and like of the moment, and it just she is the moment. Come on now. It's a good song. I really like it. I love her like Y2K aesthetic. Um and even like it almost sounds like almost like Aisha erotica. The girlies who know just know. The girlies who know just know. So it's very Aisha erotica in a way, and I just really like it. And I just hate men, so I feel like that brings us all together. Um, the last song is very random too, but it's called "Darlin" by M.B. Mulkey. He's actually a local singer to my area, and I saw him live. I'm pretty sure it was Mother's Day at a Mother's Day art market event thing, and I just thought he had a wonderful voice, and so I went and I followed him after that, and I think he has a beautiful voice. The album is called Through the Woods Volume 1. So the song is Darling Live in the Old Chair. The beginning of it always makes me laugh because it is, I think he says, this album was recorded in the old chair, which is like not a great place to record, but it's a great place to sit in. I know I didn't say that right, but that was the gist of it, and I think it's funny. Anyways, he's a local artist, and if you're listening to this, you need to listen to that song, and if not, I don't know what to tell you. MB, hi, if you're listening to this, I'll send it to you on YouTube or something, so I don't know, it might make you feel nice that, I don't know, I really don't know, so I'm hi, MB, I'm sorry, but you're a great artist, and I'm talking to him as if he's listening to this, as if, I don't know if this is even going to get done or if I'd send it to him because I would feel so strange about it, but if you're listening, hi MB. If not, whatever. So let's go on to the writer's strike, shall we? um, I don't know. Doing topics kind of weirds me out. It feels very like, and next is, I hate writing stuff down. I want to just talk about stuff. I don't want it to feel so constricted and like scheduled, and that's why I never make scripts because I would just feel like so freaking fake doing it. Not that people who have scripts are fake, but that's just how I'd feel. But the writer's strike is still happening. I remember the last one back in the day, and it completely killed the show house. It slaughtered it in cold, hot, lukewarm, cool blood. It was gnarly. So it's interesting to see one again as I'm older and I kind of understand what's going on a little bit more. And I just want to say, first of all, I completely support SAG and AFRA or whatever it's called, AFTRA. Um, I support them. I support unions completely, wholeheartedly, 100%. I am such a union fan. It's unreal. Obviously, I work in retail, which is pretty much not unionized, and that is fine with me, allegedly. No, I'm just kidding. If anybody from my job is listening, I don't believe in unions, and I'm definitely never gonna start one. Now, for the people that aren't from my job, I totally believe in unions. And I would totally start one, but I'm not going to. But with that being said, it, it's interesting to me. I feel like maybe even my mindset is like polluted from all the anti-union talk, and that could be it. I mean, humans are stupid. We are really susceptible to propaganda, so this could be part of it. But part of me thinks like, some of these people probably were fine with what they were making, and instead of like, doing something off the rails, they were just fine with what they were making, what they were doing, and maybe they should have needed more or whatever. And some people, maybe they were broke and not working, but, you know, with a strike, especially with a super powerful union like this one, is even if you would rather work, like, you wouldn't talk about it because they would know, and that's just not something you can have because then you can't work ever. So you basically have to just say, well, I need to just not work and starve myself until they work it out, because if I say something, then I will just never make money. And I'm not going to say that's true, but I'm sure that is true for. I love how I'm like, I'm not going to say it's true that I said, but it's true. Realistically, I mean, it could be that some people will think like that. Um, I think after not working for a few months, that's probably how I would think. But then in the long run, they're doing good for people. It's a good thing. Like, unions are, to me, I think they're a good thing. It's getting everyone together to, do what needs to be done. And that's just, you know, community. So I support the writer's strike. I just wonder sometimes, like, how many of these people that are saying, I support the union and yada yada yada, and then like they turn the camera off and they're like, oh my god, I wish this would be over because I need to work. Which I think both things can exist at once. Honestly, I do. So everything I just said, just disregard it. Just disregard the entire podcast so far. Just just do it. Just do it. Anyways, next we're going to talk about another album release. Chappell Roan's album, Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, came out on Friday. And if you don't know who she is, then you need to get it together because she's really good. She's going on tour with Olivia Rodrigo next year. The concert I was going to go to, she was opening for, but I am definitely not going to see Olivia Rodrigo. It's like Taylor Swift all over again. I don't know why I got my hopes up, but um, she's just super cool. Pink Pony Club was the first song I heard by her, which is on this album, but it was like, I don't know, it was like 2 years ago or something she released Pink Pony Club. And it was fun, it was cute, I enjoyed it, and then I listened to some of her older music, and it is, to me, it is so different. Like, her voice is so, almost like, I can't even understand what she's singing. It's so, like, textured. It's it's crazy, but her new album is really good. I haven't listened through all of it again. Like, this is, I don't know if I mentioned this for Doja Cat, but this is in no way like a in-depth review of every song on the album. This is just a general thing. I might do an in-depth review of the albums on like YouTube when I'm thinking straight, but this is not in depth. And I'm never thinking straight because I'm a homosexual. But Sometimes I'm a sober homosexual. Not tonight. So yeah, that's that's me right now. We were talking about Chappell, Roan. Um, but it's fun. I love it a lot, and I'm glad she finally released her album. Um, Casual was like when that came out, I had that on repeat for so long. I just can't describe what it is about the production and her voice and the lyrics are so good. They just hit you like someone who hits you. It's a lot. It's almost like when I was talking about that song by Taylor Swift at the very beginning of the podcast, You're Losing Me. It's so emotional, and I'm so happy it exists. And it's one of those where it's like I want to do a drawing for it, but I really don't know like how to draw it, how to illustrate it that perfectly fits how I feel about it. And that's even hard to describe. So, will I ever come out with a perfect drawing for it? Probably not, but it it's such a good song. Um, and then I like how she really did lean into like doing like very poppy music, which is just so much fun. I mean, Feminine is so much fun. I kind of low key hate the lyric "Keep it hot like Papa John," but I don't know. I'm weird about like food references and like fast food, like restaurant references and songs. I don't ask me. It's just not all restaurant references. Like I love when Demi sings "I Still Eat McDonald's, Baby." Love that. I don't know. Some of them just seem real cringe to me. I can't explain why. So, but yeah, good song, good songs, great songs, a wonderful album, one of the best albums. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. That was my really terrible Donald Trump impression, which, I don't even want to talk about that. We're not talking about politics right now. We're not doing it. We're not talking about politics. This is me, your host, Izzy, Paper Izzy, for the podcast Edible Paper, not talking about Donald J. Trumple. The Trumple. It's too much. I can't handle it. I don't, I just say I don't like him, and that's fine. But I can't handle getting into that kind of thing. Politics make me want to die. Completely dead, death, decayed, deceased, incapacitated at the morgue, like just gone. So I just had to throw that in there. I forget what we were talking about. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm gonna take that as a sign that we should wrap this up soon. And like I said at the beginning, I always feel like I've talked for a really long time on these podcasts because I feel like what's the use of just doing like a podcast that's the same length as like a YouTube video or whatever. But I think short and sweet is good. I think, it would be stupid for me just to sit here and pad it because I don't know why. It, to make it look like I did more, seem more professional. But girl, if you've listened to this, I am not fucking professional. You should know that by now. I hope I said everything that I wanted to say for this though, because that's another thing, is like a lot of times when I have taken a gummy, I like forget what I'm talking about while I'm talking about it. So I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. So there might still be some tweaking in the future. I'll probably try to take half of a gummy next time. Hopefully that'll make this a little bit more coherent. Also need to borrow a microphone or get a microphone, but my friend says I can use his microphone. I feel like I'll do an episode just to test that out. Maybe it'll be the art pop retrospective because it's coming, y'all. Life, the universe, the country was not the same after art pop, and I stand by it. So yeah, I think I talked about everything. I mean, my songs, is my stories. And I saw Kim Petras at the top, and I thought Kim Possible. I loved Kim Possible. That was one of my favorite Disney shows. She's such a badass, and she's my idol. She's the mother I never had. She's the sister everyone loves. She's the something of the something. She's just the best. And I won't apologize for it. I won't do it. Alright, y'all. I guess that's about it. Like I said, I think I covered all the topics I wanted to cover. Um, I'm really happy that you listened to this. If you listened this far, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for my YouTube videos that I upload. You know, um, keep up with me on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitch. I want to start streaming soon. I have a Redbubble. There are many ways you can support me. I have a Patreon. All the links are going to be below if you're watching it on YouTube, and if you're not watching it on YouTube, find me. I'm everywhere. But I'm Paper Izzy, and I appreciate every single one of you who listen to this. I love you, and we're going to get married. And I know I'm already married, but it'll be a polycool like the Mormons do. Um, I have no idea if that made any sense. And if you're a Mormon, I'm so sorry if I offended you. I don't really know what I was saying. I really still don't even know what I said. I don't remember it. Um, wow, this is out of control. This was a fun podcast, and I hope you enjoyed. All right, adios, amigos. Goodbye. 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 Adios, amigos.